All right, what's up and how's it going, guys? I'm your host, Jacob Nestor, and we are in the closet. Today I'm joined by my buddy Harper. What's up, dude? How's it going?
It's going, man. It's definitely going.
Going, yeah. You're on the front lines of the movie theaters working. You're working at a little local theater downtown in the town that we live in. I used to work there with. Yeah, how's that going down there with the
Um,
people and everything?
it's pretty good, I think. Yesterday we opened Tenant. Pretty
Yep.
good so far. So far so good. Let's hope it
Yeah.
stays that way.
Nice. Yeah. I hope you guys do well with business. Hopefully, Ron and Denise are making that dough.
I hope so.
Right, we're praying. But anyway, that's how it's going with us. I've been just chilling, same old with work. But I've been watching
Yep.
lots of movies, and I really want to get into them. But first, how about you go? What have you been watching? You've been watching anything good this past week?
Not a lot of movies, but I did start watching Lovecraft Country with Paris.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Have we finished? We just finished the latest episode. Every episode that's gone by, I think I've liked it less. I
Really?
feel like it's yeah, I feel like it's
Again,
like Paris and I were
don't go
talking
into
about this.
spoilers because I think this
Yeah,
one's
yeah,
really
yeah,
interesting. But
yeah. It's just it seems to be bouncing around a lot. It's kind of I don't know. It's okay.
I actually have been enjoying it more and more each episode. Um, I
That's
I
interesting.
really loved this third episode. But I think we're gonna wait and see how the show wraps up. Nick's been watching it too, and he's been enjoying it. And so maybe we'll see, depending on how the show wraps up. Maybe we'll either do a podcast or we'll talk about it more in depth sometime. But
Yeah.
yeah, that show's been really enjoyable. I've been on that for sure. You've been watching anything else?
Just rewatching Friends with Paris. That's really about it. Been working,
Right
so
on, right on.
watch a
Yeah.
lot of movies. Gonna see Tenet in about like less than 2 hours, so I'm
Yeah,
looking forward to
yeah.
that.
I saw Tenet yesterday at obviously the theater you work at, and obviously I won't say anything about it, but I've thought about it more, and I actually keep enjoying it the more I'm thinking about it. I'm
That's
definitely going
good.
to watch it in a few days. Actually,
Good.
it's pretty sick. It's pretty sick. But I definitely I watched a bunch of other shit this week. I was trying to catch up on Batman movies. Obviously, we're talking about our top three Batman.
Hmm.
I rewatched just a boatload of Batman movies. Just all of them basically. But then I also got to watch a bunch of stuff that I haven't seen as well. I finally watched Alien for the first time.
You'd never seen Aliens?
I know. It's
Have you seen Aliens?
no, obviously.
Oh my god. What?
I
That doesn't even make
I
sense.
tried to watch it when I was younger with my dad, and I was not a big horror guy when I was younger. It is
Coward.
living shit out of me. So I just never watched it. I don't know why, but I finally got to revisit it, or I guess for the first time, and it's fucking awesome.
Hmm.
It's
It's such a good
so
movie.
good. There's there's definitely some questionable things in it with the plot that I think are a little bit like head scratchers, but like
Like what?
well
Without being too specific.
it it would get too specific. I'll go into it a little bit with you later, but
Okay.
I still
Okay.
do think it's honestly a pretty near perfect movie. It's pretty.
It definitely is.
I gotta watch Mikey and Nikki. So this is a movie by Elaine May. It has John Cassavetes and Peter Falk starring in it. It's about a guy who's in trouble and he calls his friend to help him get out of the trouble. And it's just about their relationship and watching them through this night trying to get through this. And it's a really really touching, interesting movie that's also really intense, and I thought it was gonna be like a fun kind of gangster flick, but it's a very
Hmm.
depressing tale. Um,
What'd you watch it on? Is it on Netflix
I
or?
it's on Criterion and it's on HBO Max.
Gotcha. I got HBO, so I might check it out.
Yeah, HBO Max has a lot of stuff. HBO Max has a lot of stuff that's on the Criterion channel as well. So that
Mm.
kind of put in sort of more art house, older gems into wider availability, which is good. So
Hmm.
HBO Max blows up more for sure.
Well, HBO Max is great. It just like the content's great, but
Oh, there's some
it's not the best
the
made
the
service.
interface is the fucking worst interface,
I don't
but
I don't know if you have this problem, but I have this problem all the time. I'll be watching a show or even a movie, and I'll start it, and it has no picture, just audio, and I'll back out and go back in, same thing. Restart the system, go back in, same thing. So it's just like, okay, I guess I'm not watching
yeah,
HBO today. I'll try it again tomorrow.
yeah, it's. I really hope they get their shit together because their catalog is fucking absurd.
It's very good. Yeah.
But hopefully that gets better. I rewatched Watchmen this week.
The movie or the show?
The movie, and I
Mhm.
watched the director's cut.
Mhm. That's the best way to watch it.
So I did enjoy a lot of it, but I don't know, revisiting it after seeing the show, I'm like, man, I wish they did the squid stuff in the movie. Like, it just makes me so
Yeah.
sad they didn't go with that. And
Yeah, I get bummed out about that too. I
it's
get
such a
why.
bummer. Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's just a
get why,
bummer,
but
and there's definitely some slow parts through the middle. I don't know how I forgot how fucking horrible that sex scene is, but
oh god, yeah, with Hallelujah.
it's the
Yeah.
worst. But
Snyder sure does love that song because he used it
yeah,
again very recently.
yep. But it was cool though, and I definitely really enjoyed it. As you are, I am a big Snyder fan, and
Hmm.
that movie's dope as hell. Um, what else did I watch? I watched Aguirre, The Wrath of God. It is the first Werner Herzog movie I've seen. So
Mm,
I've been trying to watch movies like, I just have like a bunch of directors' names in my head. I'm like, I haven't seen any movies by them, so I've just been trying to like watch
right.
one by each of these directors, just kind of working my way through. So I finally watched a Werner Herzog movie, and it's really crazy. It's a really interesting movie. Very, very slow pace, lots of like nature shots. It's almost
Hmm.
documentary. Like it
Hmm.
it takes place in like the 1600s or something, but it almost feels like it's like documentary filmmaking. It's a very, very interesting twisted tale about basically just man versus nature. And it was super, super interesting. Definitely. I think I watched that on HBO Max. If I, yeah, I think I did. I think it's on there. So
Hmm.
check that out for sure.
Cool.
The last thing I watched was Wendy and Lucy. So this is a Kelly Reichardt movie, and if anybody's listening who watched the first episode on my top movies of the year, my favorite movie of the year so far, which still is First Cow by Kelly Reichardt, an absolutely just beautiful look into friendship in a really unique, interesting way. And that's kind of a theme I'm seeing throughout her movies. And this is the second Kelly Reichardt movie I've seen, and I think it's also near perfect as First Cow. It's a really just beautiful story, really beautiful while also just tragic and sad story about
Hmm.
this woman down in the dumps, stuck in Oregon, uh, trying to find her dog. And
It's in Oregon, huh?
all of Kelly Reichardt's movies take place in Oregon, so shout out. Oregon represent.
Let's go. Yeah.
I think this one's in Portland, or like it's like a outskirt town of Portland,
Sure.
Unnamed town, but it's a
Hmm.
really touching movie. It it's shot with like 16 millimeter, like really heavy grain, that can kind of get in the way at times visually. That I can tell some people might not like. It definitely has an interesting visual flair to it that's really subdued, but can be jarring at times. But I still do think it's a super, super just touching, beautiful movie. So yeah,
Cool.
that's what I've been watching this week. Check out all those movies. I'm pretty sure most of them are on HBO Max. Honestly, I've been watching a lot of shit on that service.
Yeah.
Hopefully it gets better. But anyway, we're gonna go into the topic of the week, It's our top 3 Batman movies. Now, like I said, I've been watching a lot of Batman movies this week, and I thought I had a pretty firm grasp of my top 3, and I did for the most part, but I changed my opinions on a lot of the Batman movies, so I'm excited to go into them. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is, this could surprise you, but I'm not really sure.
Mm-hmm.
Is Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice
Yes,
Ultimate
yes.
Edition.
Talk on it, speak on it.
Oh yeah. So this movie, I feel like is so overhated. I think that Ben Affleck in it is amazing. I think that the super Dark Knight Returns style Batman is great. A lot of people didn't like Superman in it. I could agree with that. I guess a lot of the issues with the movie, I feel like, will have to be answered in the Snyder Cut, because a lot of the things that, like the Flash scene, the nightmare scene, all that stuff, like clearly they went back, and in Justice League they went, yeah, we're not gonna do any of that. So
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see next year whether if any of that pays off. But I love that movie. The warehouse Batman scene alone makes Ben Affleck, I think, the most like scary Batman's ever been. So yeah, that's definitely my thoughts on it.
I totally agree. I really love Batman v Superman as well. So I watched it like 2 or 3 times in theaters when it came out. I thought it was cool, and I finally got a chance to watch the Ultimate Edition. This was like a month ago or something like that when I was thinking about doing this podcast on this. I watched the Ultimate Edition. It's so good, and I actually think it really does improve on it. And
it does, just significantly.
Like, some of those biggest complaints I really do have with building up that tension between Batman and Superman, and also just building up Superman as a better character, I think is so much better in the Ultimate Edition.
So much better.
Like, it's insane.
Well, and a lot of it is like the Ultimate Edition. Not only does it add 30 minutes, but it like reorganized scenes to make sense. Because I haven't watched the theatrical version since it was in theaters, but I do remember like my opinions on it and reading like there's just so many scenes that are like, wait, why would Superman laser beam a bunch of people? That doesn't make any sense. In the Ultimate Edition, they do explain like at least some of the things. You may have an issue with the way it plays out, but at least they answer the questions.
The Martha thing actually like makes sense and isn't like dumb and annoying. Like, what?
Well, the Martha thing is definitely. I could see, as Chris Terrio and Snyder were writing, I could see what they were going for, but I think that the way they executed it was just a little. Like Ben Affleck's reaction to, "Why'd you say that name?" And Superman just saying Martha instead of Mom. Like, I get what they were going for, but I feel like it still kind of falls flat.
I totally thought it fell flat originally, but they actually cut it different, and I swear to God, Ben Affleck delivers it like a slightly different line, and so does Henry Cavill as well, I think, in the Ultimate Cut. I don't know. I just remember when I watched the Ultimate Cut, I thought that scene played out so much better. They added a few little clips and scenes throughout the beginning as well that actually I think actually makes it work. I actually enjoyed it. I thought it,
for sure.
I thought it was cool.
The first hour especially is made a lot better just because of
100%.
all the stuff in the desert. Like, there's so much stuff in the Ultimate Edition that wasn't in the regular one. So.
It just adds so much more richness to the characters, for sure. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Ultimate Edition, but it is not on my top 3, sadly, though. My number 3, it's Batman 89. Batman 89. I love this movie. So this is
I love it too.
This has always been a favorite of mine. You know, it was basically like one of the earliest introductions to Batman I've had. It's also one of the obviously most influential Batmans in so many different ways for the cinematic verse, and just as the character as a whole. It's just such an important movie. But on top of all that, I really do think It has a really, really good story and really good script. And I think the way it builds up Bruce Wayne's character and his backstory and the way he works with Vicky Vale and such, I think really works. And I think it adds an emotional level to it that is lost in all three of the Nolan movies. I'll go into that later, obviously, but I think I honestly think Batman '89 in a lot of ways is a better Dark Knight. There's so many aspects of it that are really similar thematically and also just like story wise, and there's also just like Nolan calling back to it. That's why, but like, anyways, I think Batman '89 is just like the straight up the better version of it, and I love it so much. Everything about that movie.
I think Batman '89 is amazing. I think that I think it actually might be the perfect Batman movie. If you ran into someone and they had no idea who Batman was, they had no idea who the Joker was, whatever, the DC universe, if you showed them Batman '89, they would get a better representation of Batman than I think any other Batman. Like
100%
literally
agree.
any other one. I think that Michael Keaton as Batman is just phenomenal. I think that Jack Nicholson as Joker is the best Joker.
By far the best Joker. He is terrifying. Oh,
yeah, he's amazing.
Terrifying. He's hilarious. He's so perfect.
The way that they like weave the comic book esque like atmosphere, like Gotham City is very gothic with like Tim Burton style, and kind of a realism type of like not like Dark Knight realism, but like you believe it. You know what I mean?
The thing.
And I feel like
sorry. I agree with that. It really the Gotham is just so perfect in this movie.
Totally agree.
Really adds to that that realism that I think does it better in this movie than Dark Knight. But yeah, that Batman '89 is so good. Also some complaints that I think some people had that I honestly had, but on this rewatch with like Batman, his fighting a little bit like stiff fighting. The fight scenes are average, I think. But on the rewatch, I actually excuse them because it kind of makes sense. They set it up. This is like early on Batman. This is no one knows of the Batman. They're not even sure if he's actually real.
There's only like, 2 reporters that know about Batman.
Like no one knows. So he's very early on in his career. So it makes sense. He has like he kind of fucked up the cowl, so he doesn't have the proper neck. He still isn't the best at fighting. He's like there's the one time like Vicky Vale. They're like going up. Like and he drops and kind of falls down, and the goons are surrounding him, and it's like that kind of makes sense. Like he has a line after he's like, "You're not exactly 108 pounds" or something like that. And it's like, like he doesn't know his shit yet, He's still like an amateur, and it really shows. And I think it's so cool.
Yeah. The only real issues I think I have with Batman '89 are Vicky Vale, and I really wouldn't call it an issue. I just feel like, and this is an issue with both this and The Dark Knight. I mean, I guess the Nolan trilogy in general. I hate when Batman has a love interest. I hate it. I'm sorry. Even in comics, whenever they do Catwoman or whatever, it just feels so out of character. Like, I don't know. It feels forced every time they try to.
Yeah, I get that for sure. Where do you have? We'll kind of spoil this right now since we're still on it. Do you have '89 on your top 3?
I do have '89 on my top 3.
Okay, are you good? Do you not want to reveal the spot yet?
Yeah, well, you'll find out.
Okay.
You'll find out.
Okay. Well, I think I'm pretty good talking about '89. I think I've said my piece on that movie. I think that really is just the perfect Batman movie. Almost, because
I agree.
30. It is my third. But what's your number 2?
My number 2 is The Dark Knight. This is
okay. So
The Dark
we're
Knight.
not gonna go into spoilers yet, but give a little just some general thoughts, and we'll move past it.
I think that Dark Knight's biggest strength, besides the love interest thing, is that it gets the characters of Batman and Joker just spot on. They may be different thematically, but the way that they play off of each other, the way that Dark Knight plays off of The Long Halloween, which is a amazing comic. It's one of the top 3 best Batman comics, I think. The way that it introduces Two-Face, and I know a lot of people didn't really like Two-Face that much, but I did quite a bit. It does feel a little bloated. It's a little slow, but I think that it has a really, really strong start and a really, really strong end. And it's a shame that Heath Ledger died before he could do Dark Knight 3.
Truly, yeah. Rest in peace, Heath Ledger. Absolutely, undeniably legendary performance in that role.
For sure.
That movie, for sure. Definitely. Yeah, Dark Knight is definitely a very interesting movie. I'm excited to talk about it. But at my number 2, I gotta disagree with you on the love interest right here, because I got Batman Mask of Phantasm on here. You ever seen that?
I was wondering if you're gonna pull that out. I thought about putting it there. I thought about putting it there.
Okay.
I really did.
Batman Mask of Phantasm. This movie, I am going to go into spoilers about this movie right now, so if you don't like this, skip ahead a little bit. This movie is just so good. So this was made during the Batman animated series that was going on during the 90s. While the show was going on, studios were just like, let's get some extra cash grab, let's grab the voice actors, whip up a little story that's basically like 2 episodes connected, let's just get some extra money, whatever. And the writers decide to turn it into a full-on art house, depressing story about long-lost lovers. And then with that holds together the movie so perfectly. And it also has these perfect Batman elements. With the fighting is amazing. The animation is perfect. It is one of the best depictions of Gotham by far. The score is just unbelievable as this incredible operatic score that just shakes you to the core instantly and really sets the tone for the movie. You get to see like all the Batman equipment. You get to see like the Batwing, the Batmobile, the Bat motorcycle. Like you get to see him pull out all the stops, all the gadgets. You even get Joker in there. You get some great Joker moments that tie it in. And then the heart of the story with the Phantasm, obviously, is just such a beautifully tragic story. I think that is easily the best love interest that Batman has ever had, and it's really the only one that works in such an incredible way, that just makes it such an absolute gut punch at the end.
Well, I feel like that's a testament to Bruce Timm and Paul Dini, who made Batman the Animated Series. And I'm just going to say right now, Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill are the best Batman and Joker. I mean, period.
Yeah.
I know it might be cheating, but if you want to take the whole animated series from that to Justice League to Batman Beyond, I mean, Kevin Conroy, hands down for me, is Batman. Like when I read comics, I hear Kevin Conroy's voice. So
Exactly. That's exactly what I was about to say. I think of Batman, I hear Kevin Conroy's voice.
Yeah.
The epitome of Batman. I do think, say, Jack Nicholson is on the level of Mark Hamill. I wouldn't say he is by far the best Joker, but I would say he is probably the definitive Joker. And he's so fucking good in this movie. I just have so much love for Mask of Phantasm. It's insane how cool I thought this movie was when I was young. Just the sick ass action pieces, the cool reveal of who Phantasm was and everything. Didn't know Joker was gonna be in it, all that stuff, and then rewatching it now, just seeing how truly sad and honest and real it is. It blew me away. It really was just fucking crazy. And
it is a great movie. It's a very good movie. The series is great. Everything about the animated universe is amazing.
Yeah, I caught that on Netflix, I believe, so check it out there for sure. I caught most of the other Batman movies I've been watching on HBO Max. It's got a lot of those. But Mask of Phantasm isn't, but it's on Netflix, so check it out there. Anyway, moving on to your number 1. I think, obviously,
We already kind of spoke on it, but I do think that
Yes.
the definitive Batman, like I said, if you told someone to watch a Batman movie, you would have to tell them to watch
Hmm.
that. I mean,
Yeah.
it gets everything. I mean, there are slight variations. Technically, Joker didn't really kill Bruce Wayne's parents,
Yeah.
but
But it works with that
um,
story. It
yeah, it does.
works.
It does work with the story. I think it works actually quite well. It ties it together a little bit.
Yeah. It ties it
Um,
together in a really good way.
hmm
Like it
Yeah,
includes one of like it with that it ties in with like one of my favorite lines of all time. You ever dance to the devil by the pale moonlight?
yep.
It's the best.
It's a great line. I mean, the writing in that movie. It was when Tim Burton wasn't so overtly Tim Burton. You know what I mean? It like
Yeah.
kind of worked with it.
Hmm. This
Um,
this really is like peak Tim Burton. I think it.
oh yeah, because Beetlejuice had just came before, and Scissorhands was either before or right after. So yeah, it definitely was came at the right time. Now the sequel.
I
Did you rewatch Batman
I didn't.
Returns?
I didn't. I was thinking about it, but I didn't end up doing it. And I honestly haven't seen it, and so like I honestly can't speak on it.
I would recommend you rewatch it because it's not a terrible movie. It's actually a very good sequel, but it's one of the more weird Batman
Yeah,
movies. It's
I definitely
it's
remember
just
it
so
being very
bizarre.
weird. Yeah,
Yeah,
with
that
Michelle
was it's
Pfeiffer
like
and Danny DeVito, it's just absurd.
yeah. Batman '89 was Tim Burton at his peak, and Returns was Tim Burton becoming Tim Burton. That's literally exactly what happened.
Returns is Tim Burton becoming modern. That is
That's
when Tim Burton became what's Dark Shadows Tim Burton or whatever.
yeah, Charlie and the
Yeah.
Chocolate Factory, Tim Burton.
Oh God. I love me some Tim Burton, but what an interesting career that man has had, for sure.
For sure. Well, hey, tell me
Shot.
what your least favorite Batman movie is.
My least favorite Batman movie?
Your least favorite Batman movie.
Ah, that'd be tough. I'd have to think about that. I mean, it would probably end up being like, Batman and Robin or Forever or something like that. But I haven't rewatched those in a while. Honestly, all the ones that I've watched recently, I really enjoyed most of them. I'd say, honestly, probably the one I dislike the most would either be Dark Knight or Begins. And I'll speak on that more. I have some.
But I would consider Justice League a Batman movie.
Okay, Justice League. Then yeah, Justice League is definitely the worst.
Yeah.
It's a-
Well, besides,
I guess
think
yeah.
Batman
I wasn't
and
thinking
Robin.
about that. Justice League is just fucking horrible.
That movie is
I really hope that Snyder
garbage.
Cut's cool. Obviously, I'm excited for it. Man, that movie sucks. Anyway, on to my number one that I think is the best Batman movie. I wasn't sure where I'd have this on my top three. I wasn't even sure if I was gonna have this on my top three. But on the rewatch, easy the best one. Batman Under the Red Hood. This movie is the
Wow.
best Batman movie. Now, listen here. So they have the different voice cast. It has Bruce Greenwood as Batman. It has fucking John DiMaggio as Joker. It has Jensen Ackles as Under the Red Hood or as the Red Hood.
Of supernatural fame.
Yeah, it has fucking Neil Patrick Harris as Nightwing. Very weird sounding cast, and it works so well though. The only complaint I have about this movie is there's like this one line of dialogue at the beginning when Batman's beating up these goons and Nightwing comes and these goons one of the goons looks at the other and he's like, "Hey, who's that?" And he's like, "That's Nightwing. That's Batman's former partner." Or something like that. Oh, what
Just a
the
corny.
fuck? Just the most like corny, like expositional, like why? What the fuck?
Yeah.
But oh my god, is this movie have everything? The action is the most brutal, best Batman action out of any Batman movie. The action is just so raw and just so visually engaging. And on top of that, The fight scenes have like a really like they also really look into the characters as well. Like through their perfect choreography, you
Mm-hmm.
really interesting character insights that I think is missing in a lot of other Batman movies. It really transcends all these fight scenes. There's so much going on in them. It's not just a fight scene. Like there's so much character building going on in each of them that it just makes the build up to this ending that I don't want to spoil. But the relationship that you see between Batman and the Red Hood is the best story out of any Batman movie. I believe it has so much heart and care to it, and I think it's just it hits so much. There's like a showdown between them at the end, and it just kills you. He's talking to Batman, and it's the best Batman movie. I think it works on so many levels. I just think it's fucking awesome. I'm obsessed.
It's a great movie, and I feel like a lot of those animated movies, which actually my personal favorite Batman movie ever is one of the animated. I feel like
Which
the
one?
live
Which
action
one?
ones. I can tell you, it is The Dark Knight Returns,
Okay.
the animated movie. Have you seen it? Have you seen it?
It's on HBO Max.
Have you ever read
1 and 2?
Yeah, it is. Have you read the book?
I have read the book. It's
Okay,
a really great story.
it's my favorite graphic novel ever. It's my favorite Batman interpretation, period. It's why I love Ben Affleck's Batman so much, just because I think I just love the interpretation. I love my Batman stone cold, just utter badass. But my point about the animated ones is that the live action ones never have the balls to bring in the to bring in the Bat family to do Red Hood or Robin or Batgirl or whatever it is. I feel like the animated ones they have so much more freedom, and they're not afraid to just like go full blown comic book. You know what I mean?
The animated ones, especially Under the Red Hood and some of the other ones, these are the dark, gritty Batmans that people think the Dark Knight trilogy is. These are the ones that really go to that next level of just brutal, just kick assness, and it's just so cool.
Crowbar. That's all that needs to be said.
God, fucking you feel every one of those hits in that movie. Yeah. That's our top 3 Batman movies. We'll run it back down. Mine top to bottom: Batman Under the Red Hood, Mask of Phantasm, and Batman '89. Harper, was yours top down?
3 was Batman vs Superman Ultimate Edition. 2 was Dark Knight. 1 was Batman '89. But my personal favorite is Dark Knight Returns.
Right on, right on. All right, guys, so that's going to be the end to this little segment. We're going to go into a little intermission, and hopefully Nick will be here now, and we'll be talking about The Dark Knight finally. Stay tuned. Hey guys, just wanted to pop in to let you know to stay until the end of the episode so that you can hear what the topic of the week is and what the movie of the week is for next time's episode. You want to do that so that you can remember to write in. Remember to DM us on Instagram or Twitter, either your response to the movie topic of the week or the movie review of the week, and then we will discuss them and share our opinions on that. So stay until the end of the episode so that you can hear what we are talking about next week. I also wanted to give a huge shout out to Anchor. They're the free to use podcasting app. It is on any app store. You can also use the computer version. It is incredibly easy to use and accessible for anybody. Remember, it is free and accessible, and I couldn't do without them. Huge shout out to them. Thanks for listening, and let's get back into the episode. All right, what's up, guys? We're back, and Nick has joined us. How's it going, Nick?
It's good.
Yeah, just
got off work.
Just got off work. We're recording this in the very small time that we can. Hard to find time to get 3 boys together to record a podcast, but we're doing it in this slim time. Harper's got to leave to see Tenet soon, but let's get into our review of Dark Knight. You want to speak on that?
Do you want me to get in my top 3 first?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, real quick.
Oh, I think you just
You
lost your
hold on.
audio.
You unplugged your mic. Bruh, Nick.
I'm sorry. Uh, I'm so sorry. This is so Scott.
It's okay.
Top
It's
three.
okay.
Here we go. Before my mic cuts out. Um, so shit. I gotta look at my list. Okay. So, in no particular order, the Adam West Batman. I would put that in my top three. Yes,
What the
yes.
fuck?
Adam, the
What the
Adam, the
fuck?
Adam West, 1969. Uh, Adam West. Yes, man. Yes, this
Bro.
movie is good. This movie is good. This
I
was
need
a movie
to
from based off the TV show characters. At the time, Adam West was playing Batman. I forgot who was playing Dick Grayson, but it's fucking funny, man. It's like
Yeah.
really good campy Batman. It's got all the fucking villains, bro. Like all the villains team up in this one. She's Cesar Romero as the fucking Joker, dude. Like it's classic,
I gotta
fun,
admit, the movie's
campy
fucking awesome.
Batman. Yeah, I know you've seen it, and I know
It's
you love
awesome.
it because
It's awesome.
it's just amazing. In no particular order, I would put The Dark Knight because I think it's one of the best movies of all time. We're gonna talk about some of the things I may not like about it, but I still
Hmm.
think firmly it is one of the best movies uh, I've ever seen, and I think it's
Okay.
one of the best movies that you know. But let's see.
And lastly,
Oh, okay. Do one of you guys have Red Hood?
yeah, I had Red Hood.
Under the Red Hood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my number
So
one.
Under the Red Hood.
Oh, tight.
Uh,
Yes. Yes.
uh, yeah, I saw it. This is
It's the best.
this is one of Warner Brothers one of their best animated films, and this is definitely one of my favorite Batmans because Under the Red Hood is with Jason Todd is like the coolest fucking
Hmm.
Robin
It's
of all
the
time,
best
and
story.
and to see his
Oops, sorry.
story
Spoilers about that.
on.
We avoided the spoilers earlier. I did a little bleep about that.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
Oops.
Well,
That's
whatever.
okay. That's okay.
It's been out
Anyway,
for many
It's been
years.
out.
I mean,
It's been out for a long time. If you don't know this story,
has
you
it's been out
probably
for
don't
like
care about
10
Batman that much
years.
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah,
But
that movie's
yeah.
fucking awesome. It's
So
the best.
yeah, it's awesome. Not much to say about it. I did want to say I know this is kind of controversial for some reason, but like I think the animated version of The Killing Joke's pretty good for the most part. So I was really debating on putting that. Yeah, a
I
lot. I know it's
I
controversial,
hate it.
but
I have a
I
hot
I
take
like
as
it.
well. I have a hot take. I think
You
that
think it's bad?
I have Killing Joke, the book over here. I think it might be the most overrated comic book of all time. Period.
Oh,
Even
really?
whoa.
even Alan Moore himself said that he doesn't really care for it. He literally only did it because fucking Brian Bolland, the artist, was like, "Hey, you want to do a Batman story, please?" So he
Please.
I think many people like that. I think Killing Joke's good, but I think a lot of people like it because
Bro, your mic.
Audio cut out.
Audio cut out again. Embarrassing.
Did you hear what I was saying about Alan Moore?
Yes.
I think the
Yes.
reason people are like, okay, but yeah. Anyway,
I'm
go
pretty
ahead.
sure I can.
Killing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is a fucking hot take, but the movie definitely blows ass. That is a fact. That movie blows so much ass.
Well, I don't think. I think the only real bad part of the movie is the first 30 minutes of Batgirl.
I
I
hate the animation. The animation bothers me so much.
I thought the animation was okay. I feel like the animation quality has gone down since Red Hood and Dark Knight Returns, but for the most part, I still think they still make good movies every once in a while.
Mhm. Yeah. For sure they do. Anyway, yeah, that's an interesting top three, Nick. But I fuck with it. I really like that
thank you.
edition.
What's up?
And obviously the Red Hood. That's nice. Fuck with that a lot. Yeah. Anyway,
Where's that?
that's worst. Oh yeah. Do you have a worst Batman movie?
Um.
Justice League's included in Batman.
Oh, interesting. I would probably say Justice League, but
Yeah.
um, damn. You know what was bad? There was this it was steampunk Batman animated film that came out like a year ago. That wasn't very good. I forgot what it was
I've
called. I actually have it. Yes, 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 yeah. I
I have the comic book. It's a good comic. It was kind of
movies are like not fun or good. It's just Let's see.
Yeah.
I've actually never read it, so
Neither have I.
why it's so bad. Look
oh there.
how thin it is.
Oh
Literally,
my
I read
god,
this
bro.
in 15 minutes. Extra stretching that's like an hour and a half.
Oh my
Bruh.
goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie's like just
That's a
yeah,
yikes.
no.
Have either of you seen the this came out last year, it's an animated, it's Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I have not.
I have
No.
not either, but I've been listening to this podcast called the Bat Fan Podcast. It's actually the guys I'm pretty sure are in Eugene as well. Shout out to they have a really great podcast. Kevin Conroy does like the opener. It's sick, and they go over like all Batman stuff, and they were speaking on it a little bit, and they love it, and so I definitely want to check that out. Seems interesting.
Yo,
Watch Batman.
Oh, Batman Ninja, hell yeah.
Yeah, I also
Yo.
haven't seen that. Tragic.
Speaking on Kevin Conroy, if Harper's gonna give a shout out, I'm gonna give a shout out to the animated series, man. That's my fucking shit right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
fucking
the
shit.
animated series is the fucking coolest.
I was just telling Jacob,
Yeah.
I think
Mask of
Kevin
Phantasm.
Conroy is the best Batman ever. Like I was saying,
Mm.
when I read Batman comics or something, I hear his voice. Like that's who I hear when I read Batman. So
Yeah, absolutely.
that's
Mhm,
cool.
definitely. All right, that's. I think we're gonna wrap that up. We got to get into our review of The Dark Knight. You want to start speaking on that, Nick? Obviously, you think pretty highly of it. You got it in your top 3.
Yeah, so I already said this is like one of the best movies of all time, because it's like one of the best detective movies of all time. This movie's fucking grounded as shit, man. Like Batman's got his cool gadgets and stuff, but this movie's like straight up like detective. Like gave me Watchmen vibes, like the TV show Watchmen. Like I rewatched it and I was like, holy shit! It's like detective superheroes. It's been like what we've always wanted out of like Batman, and that's what we got out of the Dark Knight. And other than it being like really well written, it looks awesome, and I mean like it looks awesome, but it's mostly visuals. I would say the action scenes don't look very good. They're kind of messy.
They don't hold up.
It's a Nolan thing.
But I
Yeah.
do think it's they really, especially in Dark Knight and Rises, really played up like the realistic aspect of it. So like I get it. Like Ben Affleck's warehouse scene is great, but that looks like a fucking Batman Arkham video game.
Yeah.
I feel like the
It
fight
does.
the fight scenes in the Nolan trilogy, while they're clunky on like in movies, if Batman were real, I feel like I could see him fighting like that, a little more stiff, because
Oh yeah.
Bill was jacked, but he's kind of a scrawny dude also. So
He's a skinny motherfucker too. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely is.
Yo, straight up what you were saying, like in the Batman v Superman, what's it called? Dawn of Justice? I forget.
Yeah, Dawn of Justice.
Uh,
Ultimate Edition.
Ultimate Edition. Hell yeah.
Only Ultimate Edition.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, it does. Harper, it does look like one of the Batman games fighting scenes, and you know, there's not much to it. It looks awesome. It looks fucking badass. But you're right. Like they even like mentioned this when he's talking to Lucius after the first fight with like all the dogs and everything. He's talking about how he like can't move his head and shit, so he's like moving around like and like yeah, they definitely like make a comment on how, you know, it's kind of clunky, but you know, that's just what
how
Batman
it
would
is.
be like, you know.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
You got.
Do you have anything to say?
I definitely have a lot of thoughts to say, but I thought we'd go over your guys' kind of general thoughts more before we dive in.
Can I speak on some negatives?
Yeah. Let's wait a little bit on that.
Okay.
Harper, do you want to
want me to
go into your piece? Yeah.
I'll throw in So I flashed this up earlier because this is the primary thing that Dark Knight was based on. It's not really the same at all, just like hardly any Joker in it. But the Two-Face stuff, it's literally lifted straight from this. And this is probably the most detective Batman's ever been in a comic, really, at least that I've read. And Dark Knight, the movie, is also really the only movie we've had so far. I mean, from what I've seen with the Pattinson Batman, apparently that's going to be very detective. But Dark Knight is really the only movie we've had, including Dark Knight Rises, that's been very detective focused. It's actually him like pulling the bullet out of the brick, like deciphering it and figuring out, okay, where's the Joker or whatever. I love all that stuff. I love.
That's one of the coolest fucking scenes is when he's like figuring out the what was it, the thumbprints or whatever on that bullet.
Yeah.
And he's like using this fucking Gatling gun to shoot a bunch of different things into different like materials. That scene's awesome. I love that.
It's very cool. And even though I actually like the Batcave a lot in that, even though it looks nothing like a Batcave. I like
the Batcave is awesome.
Giant white room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think Dark Knight, I spoke on this on the previous segment, and I would like to know your thoughts, Nick. I think the weakest part of The Dark Knight is, it's also a problem with Batman Begins and Batman 89. I fucking hate when Batman has a love interest. I think it just feels so out of character. And I think that the Dark Knight trilogy does Batman so well as a character. I feel like it follows multiple incarnations of the character, and it kind of mismatches them and does its own thing in a realistic way. But I hate when he has a love interest, because then it feels less like, because Batman does it because he wants to, because his parents died and he doesn't want that to happen to anyone else. In the Nolan trilogy, it's almost painted as if I'm doing it because Rachel will love me, and yeah. And when Rachel dies, I'm not going to be Batman for 8 years and come back. It's just,
I completely agree. It's the relationship is fucking horrible, bro. Rachel Dawson is so much of a better, actually more fleshed out, real character in Batman Begins. She actually is like an interesting
man. Holy shit.
And then they just completely fucking ruin her with just a horrible side plot.
Yeah.
Don't they change the actress too?
Yeah. They got a Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Why? Why? This actress wasn't it? Because fucking Tom Cruise didn't want her to do it because she was married to Tom Cruise.
Really?
Remember you ever hear about how like Tom Cruise was on Oprah jumping on couches because he loved him so much?
Was this during his couch jumping phase? Okay.
All
right. That's what he.
To be fair, Maggie Gyllenhaal does not ruin the role in any way. It is all up to the abysmal fucking writing of that movie.
Wow. She is a plot device, and she's such a plot device that the movie's like, I'll just get rid of her like a third into it. Like, I mean,
she's a massive plot device like every other character in the movie.
Yeah, and you know what? For that, I'm okay, because it gives us Two-Face.
Yeah, man.
Harper, I had a question about the I didn't see the full cover of it. If you could show it again, that'd be cool. Of the
Long Halloween.
Long Halloween.
Okay, the Long Halloween. You said that the way they do Two-Face in The Dark Knight is very similar to that.
It's almost identical, really, because you start off with him as a politician. You have the Dark Knight movie literally ripped I believe in Harvey Dent from this book. The movie also takes all the Gordon, Two-Face, or Harvey Dent and Batman scenes like on the roof together, and they're like trying to figure out how to stop the mob and stuff. Because this is a very the villain of this book is the mob basically. There's really no, so it's not an exact interpretation, but I think there might even be a foreword in here by Christopher Nolan at some point. But
interesting.
But yeah, Long Halloween. That was the primary inspiration for Dark Knight. And Dark Knight Returns was the primary inspiration for Dark Knight Rises. It has nothing to do with it at all.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that you mentioned that it takes a lot from the Harvey Dent takes a lot from the comic, because I've heard a lot of. I disagree with this, but I've heard a lot of like people say that they don't really like that part of the movie, and that's kind of like
I've heard
really
that.
boring to them.
I
I was
I've heard
wondering what your
that.
thoughts are on that, because
I
I
I
think.
hate the Harvey Dent part of the movie. It
See, there we go.
I'm gonna get into it.
I want you to get into it like
Wow.
right now, because I'm very
Okay.
curious.
Okay, bro, I'm literally like cracking my neck. Like, this movie is good. Okay, I think this movie's like a really strong like 7 out of 10 probably. I think The Dark Knight has some really cool stuff in it, but oh my god, is the writing so fucking bad? It is so bad.
You need to back
So
that
the
up. I
movie,
actually think
the movie
great.
one. So this movie has it moves at the quickest fucking pace. I do not agree that this movie is slow. This movie is so
Quick pace?
fast paced.
It's so
Oh my
slow.
god, this movie literally it is. I'm like, oh my god, every single thing is so fucking fast, and there's so many things. It's like, all right, here's another fucking plot hole that doesn't make any sense. Who cares? Let's blow past it and move on to the next thing. Another fucking interesting thing that literally makes no fucking sense. Who cares? Move past it. We're already moving on to the next thing because there's so much this movie's trying to tackle in fucking 2.5 hours, and it doesn't even tackle all of it. There's so much in this movie that's just like, what? There's a million just like plot hole points that are just like head scratchers. Like, what the fuck? The stuff with so many stuff with so much stuff with the Joker character with like leaving Harvey Dent in the hospital, everyone evacuated the hospital besides him type deal. The stuff with getting the barrels on all the boats. I think just the whole idea and stuff with the boats is fucking horrible. The whole last hour is so slow. I will say the first all of it is super fast paced, and then right when it gets to the boats, it's so slow paced and so boring. It's like, oh my god, this boat scene is still going on. And it doesn't make
Wait,
any
you think
logistical
you think the
sense.
end of the movie is just boring?
So fucking lame, and
Okay.
it's horrible. And then it ties up. I hate. Hold on. Okay. The fucking everything with Rachel Dawson and Harvey Dent is just garbage. I think just pure garbage. I really think you guys are obviously agreed that her character is horrible. I also think Harvey Dent is just a horrible character. He's just there to serve the plot in this really horrible way that the themes of the movie that it brings in with like lying to the public to like bring up this hero basically are I think The Dark Knight does not work as a solo movie. It only works in context with Batman Begins and Dark Knight Rises, which I
Yeah, because it's the middle
so
part of a
which
trilogy.
I loved. So, movies need to stand on their own. To be their own movie. Basically, all the themes and ideas that are built up in The Dark Knight fucking suck and are horrible and only make sense once they're brought back up in The Dark Knight Rises and admit that like they were at fault and like they fucked up and they didn't save the city. They made the city even fucking worse. And it only makes sense in that way, and it kind of makes me so angry because The Dark Knight is sort of held up as this really perfect movie, this like contained perfect story, and it's not in any way. It completely sucks, and it doesn't completely suck, but it only fucking works when it's in the pieces with Begins and Dark Knight Rises. Everything with Harvey Dent and Rachel Dawson just sucks so badly. The stuff with the plan with fucking faking Gordon's death and everything like that is horribly stupid. The hit me scene is lame. That scene is not good because that ties into how fucking lame that story is with Gordon faking his death. What? He's riding towards him, all hit me, and then he instead of, I don't know, doing anything else, he's like, I'm gonna swerve around him and then crash and fucking, oh, I need Gordon to come save me. I don't know. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. There's so much of this movie that just, I think, just doesn't make sense. And it's just so dumb.
Yeah, I have a whole lot to say about that, but
I
Yeah,
really
those
do.
are some.
I
Those are
really
some of
do.
your.
I
Some of the
really think.
worst takes. Some of the
The
worst
first.
takes.
I really think the first two acts are really strong. I think they are really strong, and I think they are really good. And then the third act of the movie completely ruins it, and just makes it just such an average movie. Also, I
Uh,
don't.
I
This dark, gritty, serious Batman movie. It is not in any way. It is totally flip flopping in horrible ways. It never settles properly into these tones. It, the grittiness is never there. It's watching this movie in context with all of these other Batman movies recently that I've been watching. It's like all of these movies have all of these aspects throughout the Dark Knight, but it does them so much better. And basically every single aspect or detail that happens in the Dark Knight is played in some other Batman movie so much better, in such a better way. Uh, yeah.
go off.
interesting. Interesting. Uh,
And
Uh, uh,
so,
oh, and go ahead.
I
um,
I don't think it's a bad movie. Like I was saying, it is a 7 out of 10. It is a 7 out of 10. I do think it is a really engaging movie. Like I said, with the fast pace, I do think it works to a point of being really engaging, and I do think the Joker is just the one of the coolest villains of all time, and he's portrayed so perfectly. It's really fucking cool, and Batman's awesome. But
Uh,
it
I was
really,
gonna say.
yeah.
I thought it was interesting how much we've talked about this movie. We haven't even talked about Heath Ledger at all. But I think it's interesting. I kind of agree with you with your third act take. It's definitely a lot slower and it's very convoluted as well. But I feel like this movie doesn't need to worry, and this is like a lot of Nolan. Doesn't need to worry about, um, I guess per se, its writing or any logical sense. I guess, but this movie is basically carried off from its performances, bro. Like you got some of the greatest acting, some of the best line delivery, just fantastic, just talking
Mm,
scenes in this
I
movie. People don't rewatch this movie. They don't watch it for the action. They don't rewatch it for like any particular fighting scenes, except for maybe the Tokyo scene. People
that's
watch
the
this movie because they want to see Heath Ledger and they want to see Batman go at it in the fucking what's that
the
scene where they're in
interrogation
the
room.
police department
Yeah,
interrogation
yeah,
scene?
that
People
rips. That
live
is a
for that
really good
shit,
scene.
bro.
I mean, the
Yeah,
actors are
I'm very
great, but
surprised when you said the writing was
I
bad in this
don't like
movie.
Nolan's writing. I so
I guess that's fair. He
I've been
basically
trying to watch more Nolan movies recently, and I've
that's
always kind
fair.
of had this opinion of Nolan. He has a very specific writing style. I actually
yeah,
bring
I
this
agree
up earlier.
with that.
I watched the following Nolan's very first movie, and it's shown there. He has this very specific writing style that it's in every single one of his movies, and I don't like it. I really don't like his writing style at all. I think it feels like almost pure exposition and just substance in place of actual character development, and it feels that way in not all of his movies, but it definitely feels that way in The Dark Knight, I think.
Hmm.
Um, I feel like his writing style is definitely very specific and definitely goes through all of his movies. I don't think his writing is bad. I do think that there's a lot of exposition, but I think it's because Nolan writes in films with a sense of scale. Like every one of his
Mm-hmm.
movies feels very much like an event. Like it's more than just a movie. Like it feels with the gritty and dark aspect we're talking about. I don't know if I would say that the Dark Knight trilogy is gritty or dark. I would say it's just realistic with some comic elements. Batman Begins
The
mostly
thing is
comic.
with the also the realistic aspect of it is I don't ever buy into it feeling realistic when there are so many of these just like random head scratcher moments that they just blow past that I think really don't make sense. I think those are really a detriment to the movie of constantly taking you out and never letting you fully settle into the world. I really don't think they do a good job at world building Gotham. Gotham is so much cooler in fucking Batman Begins. This is easily the worst depiction of Gotham on a visual scale, no doubt.
I
I
agree with
disagree.
that. It's meant like with the realistic thing. It's meant to be Chicago or New
Yeah.
York. You know what I mean? And I get it, and I respect that.
Mhm.
But I do agree that in terms of like versus the Burton Batman, even the fucking Schumacher Batman, at least that had some fucking personality.
Yeah.
Like I get what you're saying. I do agree to a certain extent, but I also understand that they were going for a Chicago. I mean, it was filmed in Chicago. I get what they were going for.
Mhm.
So
I like I said, I get that. I don't like it though. I just don't like it. It's not my thing. You guys,
You're just
you guys have
sorry.
some other any other rebuttals against I understand that I am in the minority in a lot of my takes, and like I've been saying, it's not a bad movie. It's just I just have so much issues with the writing. It really just bogs it down for me so much, sadly. And I really do think it's such an interesting, captivating movie in so many regards as well. And Batman is one of my favorite heroes and just stories in general and characters. And it's still definitely an engaging, fun movie, I think. And it is.
You said it was boring.
Oh, it's boring in the last fucking hour.
I haven't said too much negative stuff about it, but if I had to, Nolan, this is a consistent thing for him. His continuity is pretty bad in this movie. I noticed it a lot actually. A lot of people say the beginning scene's like the best part of the movie. But the beginning scene is very just edited kind of weird, and
it's so close to being so cool almost. I don't know.
No, I think it's still very cool. But if you look at the details, it's like
yeah, this movie is cool,
I agree.
But like, it's not there. I don't know. I just think it's not there in so many aspects.
I guess that's what I expect when I watch Nolan, and I just don't let it bother me. So, but as I was saying, like in the beginning, there's a lot of weird editing stuff, and there's a lot of wardrobe changes from different characters. And the weirdest wardrobe change is Heath Ledger when he's wearing the mask at first. His hair is brown. His hair is brown the whole time, up until he takes it off, and then you see green hair. That's clearly green hair that's dyed. So it's a lot of middle stuff like that. The truck scene, if you look at it very closely, it doesn't make much sense.
Yeah.
It actually
has some scenes where Batman's holding him like this, and it cuts, and he's like holding him like this, and then it'll cut back like this, and it'll like this.
It's just the editing is so weird.
Oriented stuff.
That's
so
stuff that it's just tight. You know, it's just so many little moments like that it constantly keep pulling me out. You know.
So as this movie, it also in some areas just feels unfinished. Like it feels like not a complete thought into the scene, and I think that's all valid complaints for this movie. I still think it's one of the best movies of all time, but there's valid concerns and complaints about it.
I think that I agree with both of you that the ending is kind of half-baked. I don't think it's bad.
I don't think it's bad either.
I do like some things about it. Even though I think the sonar thing is kind of corny, I do like how he has the white eyes. Like in the
white eyes is cool. I fuck with that. It's cool. I kind of fuck with the sonar a little bit until like one point he just like it's just like oops, it fucks up. He can't disable them. I don't know anything. It's just like, oh, they're fucked up, and he gets like disorientated, and Joker starts speeding on. It's like, bro, come on, like you're Batman. I don't know, take it off. Turn on anything. Do fucking anything, bro. Instead of just
do your magic trick, Batman. Just do it. Don't you have superpowers?
Yeah, you're supposed to do cool shit.
You're saying Harper?
Yeah, I just thought that the ending is a little half-baked, but the last, like, from when Two-Face and Gordon and his kids are on the roof with Batman to the last shot of the movie. I think that's one of the best final scenes of any movie. One of the best fucking ending monologues ever. Every time I watch that fucking scene when Gordon's talking and you see the fucking bat bite going around, dude, goosebumps every single time. I mean, they get the character of Batman very, very right, and they get. I mean, Michael Caine is Alfred. I love Jeremy Irons as Alfred, but Michael Caine is the best Alfred ever.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that is jarring, I do disagree with what you said, Jacob. I do think that Dark Knight stands on its own, like, very strongly, because I think it's like, one is very comic book with some realism, 2 is very realism, 3 is mostly realism with some comic book, but, like, 2 is just, it's very much its own thing. Like, you could watch Dark Knight beginning to end, and you have a full story. You know, you got the Joker, you got Two-Face dead. It's done. It is a little weird going from Batman Begins to Dark Knight, because it's like Gotham looks
Oh my god, yes.
completely different. And also, rewatching The Dark Knight recently, did Batman forget that he had the fucking, like, bat collar signal? Remember in the first one when, like, bat? Why didn't he use that at the end?
Never again. Never again. It was like one of the first gadgets he made. Yeah.
But, another thing, I want to know your guys' opinions on this. What are your guys' thoughts on the Batsuit in Dark Knight?
I don't have any issues with it.
It doesn't fucking beat the Schumacher nipple suit, so...
That's a fact. It doesn't beat that classic Adam West shit.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely, 100%. That, you know what? Fun fact, Adam West went to a bunch of orgies in that same Batman suit. That is a real fact.
Good for him. Good for him.
Go up to that next day for the next Batman episode. Hey, Adam, what's those things on you, buddy?
There's like anal beads coming out of it. Yo, fucking Adam West, man. He was freaky as hell. Rest in peace.
Truly, he's absolute icon. Rest in peace. Love that man. Love. He's always.
But for best Batman suit. Oh no, what do I think of the Dark Knight suit? I think the Dark Knight suit is like, I don't know. It was the start of like cool Batman suits, or like the sleeker Batman suits. I would say, I think the Batfleck suit is pretty sick too. Honestly,
Batfleck's awesome.
I think it
is great.
Man,
definitely.
It's real badass.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense. It kind of makes that Superman fight scene make sense, especially since he has kryptonite and shit. But, and he just looks badass. Also, like the fucking voice changer on that bitch.
It's fucking awesome.
What do you think of the?
Oh my god, what do you voice sucks on Bale's? I forgot to mention Bale's Bat voice. Terrible.
Oh yeah, I can't believe I forgot. Oh, the horrible, worst Batman voice.
It's very bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's laughable.
Yeah. It's absurd. Where is she? Rachel.
Where is she? Oh my god, I love
Jesus
that shit.
Christ,
Yo, you guys haven't really talked much about Heath Ledger, or is everything been said about Heath Ledger?
We didn't really talk about him, but I feel like there's not much to be said about him. I think
he's the best part of the movie.
He's easily the best part about the movie.
Best Joker.
Actually, I guess we did touch on this earlier. I don't think he's the best Joker. I do think Jack Nicholson's Joker is better, and I believe Harper agreed.
That's weird. I
think
really
Jack Nicholson is the closest interpretation we've ever gotten to, like, the comics. Like, he's very much straight up page. I think Heath Ledger is.
I agree with that. Yeah.
I mean, totally. It's really like I like all three of the. I mean, no Jared Leto, but I like Joaquin, I like Nicholson, and I like Ledger. Just about the same for completely different reasons. Like, they all had pros and cons. So
Yeah, I saw Nick's face kind of twitch. We're not gonna go into Joker at all, obviously. Me and Nick have some opinions on that are conflicting to Harper's.
Yo, Harper, didn't we see Joker
Walking
together?
is awesome. No, we saw Joker with Casey, bro.
Oh shit, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Did we?
We saw Doctor.
Oh, we did.
Yo,
yeah,
we
we
did,
did.
yeah.
Okay, that's what
Doctor
it was.
Sleep. That
Much-
movie is fucking awesome.
Much better movie than the Joker. Oh my.
That's a fact. That's a fact. But we're not
I
here to
disagree.
talk about the Joker. Joaquin Phoenix's performance is definitely exceptional in that. But yeah, I do think Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger are both better.
What? What about Jared Leto though?
Oh my
Can't you-
god.
Damn it.
Can't you tell? He was damaged. Okay.
Bro, can't you see he's deranged? He has crazy thoughts.
God.
Did you?
Crazy.
Did you see the shit that Jared Leto went fucking? He went. What's it called? He went. What's it called when you're like in the character?
Acting.
Method acting.
Yes, method act. He was like
Yeah.
method acting.
Yeah,
That
the like.
Joker. What?
Yeah, he did some Yeah. did some weird shit to his co-stars to get disgusting reactions out of him. It was very strange. Very.
Imagine being the worst Joker, being in that movie for like 10 minutes, and then convincing yourself you're the Joker and just being a fucking asshole. Imagine not having the self-awareness where you realize you're the worst Joker ever. Like, look, Jared Leto as a concept, like when they announced him, even when the first picture came out, I was like,
I like
okay,
Jared Leto as an actor.
I could see it if they if they went through if Jared Leto
No.
in Suicide Squad and they're like, okay, we're bringing him back, but we're gonna change him. I can see it, but what we got, the 10 minutes, is terrible.
Yeah, it's
literally-
crazy bad.
The only lines of dialogue he had in that movie were, "I'm so crazy." Yeah, I'm crazy. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Imagine getting overshadowed by Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn. That's kind of sad.
Oh, no kidding. God, that movie fucking sucks, man. Holy shit.
So bad. Alright, you guys see the trailer for Suicide Squad 2?
I saw like the
or like
behind the scenes stuff.
behind I'm very excited for it.
It's gonna be so
I-
much better.
It really looks like it's gonna be so much better.
Yeah,
fucking
Harley
James.
an animated series.
Yeah.
Well, not yesterday.
I've
Did you guys
seen a
ever
few
see Birds
episodes
of
of
Prey?
that.
I
Yeah, I
really-
watched it with you, bro.
sorry, yeah, I really liked Birds of Prey. I really enjoyed it.
I thought it was
I
okay.
thought it was good too.
hmm I thought it was
Harper,
like
did
6,
you say
but, like
did you say something?
oh whoa what the fuck just happened to Nick? Yo,
I just
hey
got
buddy.
Space.
Yeah.
Just got
Harper,
snapped.
I know you gotta head out soon, but I don't know why my camera's
Well,
not working. but
actually,
did you... Go ahead.
no, you go.
You were talking about the Harley Quinn TV show, the animated one.
Mhm.
Have you seen all of that?
I actually just started watching it recently. I'm on like the fourth
Is it good?
episode. This show
Oh,
is
okay.
hilarious. This show is so funny. I thought it was
Okay.
gonna be terrible. It was
It's
actually
awesome.
it's actually great.
That's awesome.
It's
I'm-
really good.
I really want to check it
I
out.
highly recommend anyone see that,
Mhm.
but you have to get on the fucking DC shit or
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, it's on
Um,
HBO Max. Shout
Yeah,
out.
HBO Max.
Oh.
We've been talking about that a lot.
Yo,
this show.
shout out HBO
Yo,
Max though.
Yo,
High
HBO
key,
Max
HBO Max is
sponsor
fucking
this
tight.
podcast. We've been trying out HBO Max so much this podcast. They better fucking hit me up for
Yeah.
Yo,
my like 5
sponsor.
constant viewers. My 5 constant
That's
viewers
funny.
of my family members and my friends who I've forced to watch it. Fucking
Yo,
give
hook
me
me
a
up with the
sponsorship.
HBO,
Yeah.
please.
On
That
God.
shit's so
For
good.
real. Anyway, I did want to talk about this a little bit before Harper leaves because he's got to get going to that 10. I think we're going to talk a little bit after he leaves. But I did want to get your thoughts on this. I did have someone, my buddy Lane, he messaged in response to the topic this week. He gave me his top 3 Batman movies, and I think it's a pretty interesting list, and I wanted to bring it up. Bottom to top, he had Dark Knight Rises, Dark Knight, and then Batman Beyond, Joker Returns.
That's
Oh, Batman Beyond.
I
that's
haven't
one.
seen that. I haven't seen this. Have you?
Oh yeah, that's great.
That's why I wanted you. Yeah, I actually haven't seen this. I was a fan of the Batman Beyond series, but I completely missed this movie somehow. I'd never heard of it.
You would love it. It's just as good
Yeah.
as Batman Beyond. So I would say it's about the same as Mask of the Phantasm, in my opinion.
Interesting.
I grew up with Batman Beyond. Terry McGinnis was my Batman before Bruce Wayne.
Wow.
Before Kevin Conroy. Wow.
I want a
That-
fucking
that's
Batman.
like-
I want a Batman
Bat-
Beyond movie right now, please.
Yeah.
Yo, Batman Beyond is the fucking Zoomer Batman for real.
Honestly.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
a
on
fact.
fucking God, bro.
Yeah.
hmm Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so huge shout out to those. But he had Dark Knight Rises on his list. I wanted to bring that up a little bit. I really liked Dark Knight Rises on this rewatch. Actually, so I rewatched the series. Obviously, I honestly think I give Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises all a 7. I think they all have their faults in their own ways, but are also really great in their own ways. I really love the storytelling in one. The way that it brings in his backstory, I think, does it in a really visually interesting and just engaging way throughout. And I think it ties it together really well. Ra's al Ghul is just such a good villain, and Liam Neeson's fucking awesome in it. And then I love Tom Hardy as Bane. He's the fucking coolest. The Bane fights
So good.
are the coolest fight scenes out of the entire series. I think I really liked Dark Knight Rises. Honestly, I thought of the series in a really
agree
perfect
with you.
way.
I think all 3 of them are about the same level for different reasons. That's very surprising that you were talking all that shit about Dark Knight, but you really like
Yeah.
Dark Knight Rises.
Okay, this is the thing. Yeah, it's all those things. I think Dark Knight.
Funny how that is.
I think
Yeah.
Dark Knight. I think Dark Knight. If Dark Knight Rises didn't exist, I would dislike Dark Knight more. I only like Dark Knight only works because of some of the thematic and story elements that they end up tying in with Rises. They completely don't work on their own with just the Dark Knight though. But I already spoke on that. That's yeah. But
Interesting take. I disagree. I feel like all the stuff with Bane is great. Like, literally every scene is amazing with Bane. I like some of the Batman stuff in Rises. I really like Catwoman in it.
mhm.
But the fucking, like, what you were saying about how much you don't like the end of Dark Knight, I hate the fucking end of Rises. I think it sucked.
Oh,
Like, I actually
okay.
think it sucked.
I actually didn't realize this until recently. I never thought about this. Even rewatching, I didn't even think about it. And then I listened to a podcast thinking about it. I can't remember which one. And it was the idea that very last scene with Alfred in the restaurant was a dream. I don't know how I never thought about that. You guys, that's a dream.
Yeah, but
Batman did
like,
die. So it's the
What?
idea that
it's not
Batman.
claimed to be a dream. It's not even close because Alfred didn't even. I don't even think Alfred fucking saw Catwoman.
Yeah,
At the end.
Alfred like looks up and they both acknowledge each other, and I think that's the moment that actually proves that it's a dream, because that they acknowledge each other. Earlier when Alfred was talking about it, he was like talking about, I have this dream, like I have this dream that I see you at the restaurant, and I really hope like what happens is that I see you and we completely don't acknowledge each other and like just move past and like don't recognize each other. That's how I'll know you're truly happy, is when like, you know, we don't even we don't even acknowledge each other. And I think in that scene when they acknowledge each other, I think that, and I'm not 100% sure if it's a dream, but I've been thinking about this a lot, and I think it might be. I think Batman really does die at the end of Dark Knight Rises, and that final sequence is a dream, and that totally makes sense for a Nolan movie.
You can't.
Harper.
Nolan movie to have a fucking dream sequence at the end.
Harper, does Batman dying make the ending bad for you? Because it doesn't for me. Like, it's part of the reason why I don't like the ending of Dark Knight Rises, but it's not like, and it doesn't really matter.
Remember, there was a scene when they're like looking at the ship, and he's like,
That's
"Hey,
that's
there's
why
an
it doesn't make
auto
sense.
pilot."
That's why it doesn't make sense. That's why
Oh, okay.
I don't know. That's why it's like, I don't know. It's really just a conspiracy theory, but I think it's a really interesting idea though. That
Conspiracy theory.
it just added another level to the movie that I thought was interesting.
Okay.
I hadn't previously thought about.
Before I go, the biggest missed opportunity was to have Joseph Gordon-Levitt play Nightwing for like even like. 10
Oh
minutes.
my god,
It would've been
that is
so
an
good as
absolute
Nightwing.
fact, dude. I can't. It just makes me so.
Even if they just shown him in like the suit at the end, I would have been like, okay, that's it. That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
Cool. Good ending. But
Wait,
Yeah.
isn't that other? Wait, is it the dream? The dream, or is the ending with Alfred the last scene, or is it the scene where?
Yeah, no, that's the very.
Gordon-Levitt is going down.
I'm pretty
and he
sure
sees all
that's
the
I'm
bats.
really sure that's the last shot. It's.
Oh, okay.
I think it is.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's him like acknowledging him, and then like it fades out. It's either that,
Okay.
or it's either that, or it fades with Joseph Gordon-Levitt going up on the thing. But I'm pretty sure it's the dream sequence though.
That's something Joseph Gordon-Levitt finding the Batcave is something I fucking would have loved to see halfway through the movie instead of
Yeah.
the last 5 minutes
Yeah.
of it. But wait,
Agreed.
you know what? Whatever, I guess.
Whatever. They're all perfect
I-
movies.
I love how Joseph Gordon-Levitt, like, everyone in fucking Gotham is like, who's Batman? And fucking Robin is just like, oh hey, this guy was an orphan. Oh, he's Batman. Literally, like, that was his train of thought. Like, he immediately, there was no, like, train of thought. It was just, I think you're Batman. And Bruce Wayne doesn't go, yeah, I'm Batman.
Yeah. He's like, fuck, how'd you know? What?
Yeah.
How'd you get me? How did you know that? You beat me. You beat me.
Okay, I really gotta go.
Alrighty. Alright, hey, go enjoy Tenet.
I will.
Thanks for hopping on. You got anything you want to shout out real quick?
No,
Pix Theater.
no. Just go to the pick. Just go to the theater, please.
Yep.
Don't let the
Yep, support your local theaters that are practicing safe practices. Alright.
Yes.
Dude, thanks for coming on.
Show the pics some love. I like that. Hell
Right
yeah.
on, right on. Alright, we're back. Harper's out. We're just gonna go into some of our final thoughts and wrap up this show. Yeah, you wanna give some final thoughts on Dark Knight, a little the happy closer on your end, the positive end review.
I really like the Dark Knight, and I like the trilogy as a whole. I do feel like, though, I could watch the Dark Knight without seeing the other two, but seeing them all together is a really great experience if you can find the time for it. So, yeah.
Yep, I agree for sure. Love the trilogy. Like I said, I gave Dark Knight a 7 out of 10 or a 3.5 stars out of 5, and that's what I give the others for the trilogy as 2. You want to give a rating to it?
Oh, one last thing. I do think it's interesting how oddly experimental all three of these films are. These are like almost experimental
definitely.
films.
That's 100% true. It's really cool, I think. That's one of the really...
It's very cool being that it's a franchise and then it's from a fucking
Yeah,
well-known comic book character.
Batman
It's crazy.
Begins feels like an art house movie almost.
I haven't seen it in a while,
You should
but
rewatch Batman Begins. It was... I think that was probably my biggest job
if I-
of the whole series. I really love Batman Begins on this rewatch.
okay, yeah, I'll probably just watch it again. So
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this show. My top 3 Batman movies were Under the Red Hood, Mask of Phantasm, and Batman 89. What were yours? You want to run them down real quick?
Adam West Batman, I believe it's 1969, and Dark Knight and Under the Red Hood. Yeah.
Badass. Awesome. Shout out those. Go check out the all the Batman movies. Go watch Tenet in theaters. Support your local movie theaters. Check me out on all social media at In The Closet WJN on Instagram or Twitter, or at JNester568 on Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd. Check me out there. You can find the videocast and audiocast on YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, or any other podcast catcher that you're listening to with. Check out the other videos I have on my YouTube as well. I posted a Closet Quickie a few days ago on some Jim Jarmusch movies that I'm a big fan of. I've been talking about the episodes how I've been a big fan of Jim Jarmusch recently. Talked about Night on Earth and Mystery Train. Go check that out. Filming some more stuff with Blue for you, hopefully. Got some more stuff coming out. But for next week on this show, I kind of teased this a little bit earlier, we are going to do Nolan Ranked. We're going to talk about our favorite Nolan movies, go talk about every single one of them, give them a ranked order, and then we're going to go in depth on one of them. Now, usually I would say which one that is right now, but I'm honestly not sure yet. I'm thinking about doing it on Tenet or Interstellar. I haven't decided yet. I will see after this Tenet rewatch. I might do a Kawasaki on that instead. I don't know, but either way, DM in your list of your Nolan ranked, and we'll talk about it on next week's show. Nick, you got anything else you want to shout out?
No.
Your letterbox that you don't post on ever?
Sorry, yeah. I'm very busy these days, so
yeah, it's okay. It's
I
okay.
don't do much on there. But I'll try to get on there. Updating shit. I'm like, the only thing I'm watching is basically what's on HBO Max right now because I just got it recently. It's awesome.
That's fair. Yeah, great website. Check that out, or streaming service.
Great website.
Blah, blah, whatever. Thanks for listening. Tune in next week, and yeah, see ya.